Hey Jeff, welcome to GAC RMHC Golf Classic. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let that play on through. We'll put you back in your address position, and we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you back here in your setup, first of all, just take a look at your posture. So lower spines, let me get rid of the arrows. Lower spines nice and straight and on a slight tilt. Your legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. Arms hang down nice and naturally off of your spine, and the club works out to the ball. So you're achieving some pretty decent posture there in association with good balance. Now, with respect to your alignment, we can see that you're set up open. Feet are going left, knees are going left, hips are going left, as are your forearms and your shoulders. So when you set up like this, very clear you're probably going to swing the golf club from outside to inside. We're going to start the ball somewhere obviously out to the left based on where we're aiming and where we're swinging. Then we're going to leave the face open and we're going to impart some kind of left-right spin on the ball and create some form of a fade or slicing type of action. Let's go ahead and do a little split screen comparison between you and Jordan Spieth. Now I've got some color-coded lines on the screen just to use as a visual reference as it pertains to swing plane. And obviously with respect to the alignment, we can see Jordan is much more square to his intended target, where he's not set up in that open position that we saw that you were in. Okay. From here, as we go ahead and take a look at this golf swing on the left side of the screen, we can see that Jordan initiates his takeaway by creating good shoulder rotation, bringing his arms and hands back as well as his club. Club comes back directly along the red line on plane. Also in the early stages of the golf swing, we want to incorporate some good wrist hinge into play, where we're going to transition the club head from currently being below and in front of our hands to now being above and behind our hands. From here, we're now going to work the club from red up towards the blue-yellow V zone. When we finally set the golf club at the top of the backswing, we want to have the left arm of the club situated on the yellow line or anywhere in between the blue-yellow V zone, or actually physically up on blue, even what we see with Jordan Spieth here. We have full shoulder rotation, and we want to do this about a very stable right leg. Let's watch you take the club back. Now, normally people who set up open will take the club outside of the swing plane. So there go your hands and your golf club, and clearly you're taking the club to the outside. You're turning your shoulders well, arms and hands are coming back well. Hopefully we get some wrist hinge into play here shortly, because we're a little stiff-wristed with the golf club through to this area. We get some wrist hinge there, that's great. Let's work this to the top and see where you set everything. So we can see here you've turned quite nicely. Stable right side, your arm geometry stays in good position relative to your core, club's in good position relative to your arms. Backswing's a bit abbreviated just due to the fact that I don't think you've maximized your shoulder turn, your arm travel, and more specifically your wrist hinge. And wrist hinge creates club travel during the backswing. It also creates speed going through. So it'd be like a pitcher, if he were not to cock his wrist, he'd have nothing to snap through at the last second there. Okay? As we go ahead and take a look at the transition back in the ball, simply want to move our weight from our right foot to our left, fire our knees and our hips laterally to the target, unwind our core, and fire our hands. And in doing so, we got to make sure that we're bringing the golf club from wherever we set it within that blue-yellow V zone, that we're bringing the golf club back down onto red. And that's exactly what we see here. We see the golf club returning back to plane. The other thing I want to observe at this stage of the golf swing is the relationship between the lead forearm and the golf club. I refer to this as the backwards check mark. It simply means that the club head right now is remaining above and behind his hands, coming into the hitting zone. And this is what's going to allow us to create a lot of power in our golf swing, aside from the fact that he's also going to hit the ball straight due to the fact that the club has returned back to plane, which is the main criteria in order to produce straight golf shots. So let's watch you create your transition back into the ball here. Hands and arms drop very nicely. As we're coming back into the ball, I really like your pre-impact position here. I like the fact that you're retaining angle. There's your lead forearm. There's your golf club. So you've got your backwards check mark. Club head staying above and behind. So creating some power in the golf swing won't be that much of an issue. The difficulty is that the club won't ever return back to being on plane, as we see here with Jordan Spieth. And then with him, as he tracks into the ball, that club simply comes into the ball directly from this red line, directly from on plane. And as I already stipulated, this is what produces straight golf shots based on our alignment. Lastly, assuming that the club face squares up via having a good grip. So let's watch your club go to the next frame. It's going to fall out in front. There it is right there. And it's going to be attacking the ball from what's referred to as outside to inside. So if we just sort of track your club head if we connect the dots as it came into the ball, we can see how it came a little over the top, coming into the ball a little steep, therefore a little bit out to in. But that's obviously to be anticipated due to the fact that you're set up so open at address. So if we clear this stuff off the screen, we can take a look at the pass of the club. We can see that Jordan's club is inside the ball. It expands out to make contact, moves through in a nice natural subtle arc. Your club is stuck outside the ball, dropping down and across, so there's your path. And very simply put, if we happen to square the club face up to that path, we'll hit the ball nice and solid. Only problem is it's going to the left. And it's going to the left for two reasons. One, that's your swing path, that's where you're swinging. And two, that's where you're aiming. So if you happen to over-release the club to this path, not only do you pull it, but now we're going to hit some form of a pull draw or a pull hook if we over-release the club. If we under-release the club, incredibly, we could block the ball out to the right, even though we're swinging to the left. At that point in time, the club face would be obviously vastly open, and we'd be producing a major block slice. And if we happen to just leave that club face just a little bit open, then we can block the ball out to the right just a little bit better than red by leaving the face a little bit open, imparting a little bit of left to right spin, and we'll get a nice little fade. And that's probably a golf shot you see, not probably, it is a golf shot you see all the time when you hit the ball well. Unfortunately, you are going to have your left to right tendencies though, because if you do square the club face, it's falling too much of red, and then if you under release it, it's falling too much of blue. So it does require a lot of timing on your part. I just want to pay attention to your right heel at impact. It is off the ground, but let's see the continued activity through to the finish, see if you fully create that footwork or not. So you're getting up off your heel, that's good, up on your toe, stand up nice and tall on your left leg, so you're getting through to a good finish, so that's some good footwork there, that looks great. I do want to pay attention to, I want to go back and just look before impact here and look at your club face and just sort of get a sense of what your club face did through the hitting zone. So club face is remaining definitely a little bit open there. We can track the ball. Yeah, it's right. Well, let's go back a frame. So your golf ball, just so you know, you might be able to see it. Your golf ball is right at the tip of your cap right there. Okay. So basically, what's going to happen is that ball's basically, obviously, heading a bit left. It's not going as far left as where you're aimed because you're leaving the face open. So you're able to block the ball out on line, and then obviously it has left to right spin. So that ball's going to obviously have some form of a fade action on it. Now, how much would be indicative of how open that club face remained. Okay, and you know, that's typically what we're going to see with you when you produce great golf shots. If you close the face, it goes too far left. Leave it too open, it goes too far right. And if you time it all right, then you'll hit this nice left to right shot that will find the intended target. Okay. Anyways, you got some nice athletic ability here. Your hands work well. They come back. They fire through. Your core works decent. You coil, you uncoil. You've got good enough footwork that allows you to get through to a good finish. So we have some nice general swing motion happening here. But at the end of the day, we are aiming considerably to the left. We are coming at the ball from outside to in. And at that point in time, we got to manipulate and associate a certain open club face to produce, you know, nice consistent fades all day long. Okay. Anyways, I hope you had a fantastic day and hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video. Take care.